Testing.
So good evening, and welcome to our council meeting on October the 22nd, 2025. I will now call on Tim Brubaker, Regional Clerk, to conduct the roll call.
Thank you. Chair Redmond.
Present.
Councillor Craig.
Present.
Councillor Erb. Councillor Foxton.
Present.
Councillor Gowing.
Still awake.
Councillor Harris.
Present.
Councillor Hunick.
Let's go Blue Jays.
Councillor James.
Present.
Councillor Liggett.
Present.
Councillor McCabe. Councillor Nowak. Councillor Rodriguez.
Present.
Councillor Salonen.
Present.
Councillor Shantz.
Present.
Councillor Verbanovich. And Councillor Wolf.
Present.
Thank you, Chair.
I would like to acknowledge that the land on which we gather today is the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee, the Anishinaabe, and the Chinootan peoples. In doing this, I want to reflect on what it means to be doing this important community work like we are engaging collectively today, and also in my individual relationship to the land. As a settler, one of my most important aspects of my individual journey towards truth and reconciliation has been to listen, and I'm continually grateful to a community that shares their stories and their concerns with me. As well as chair of the region, I know that I carry a large responsibility to ensure that it is not just myself on an individual level listening and acting, but that as a government, we are listening and creating action in our community. I'm offering this acknowledgement as one of the many actions I am personally and the region largely is taking on our journey towards reconciliation. We acknowledge the enduring presence of the Indigenous people with whom we share this land today, their achievements and their contributions to our community. Colleagues, there are a few days of significance I would like to recognize today. Persons Day, October the 18th, commemorates the 1929 decision that legally recognized women as persons under Canadian law, advancing gender equality. Invisible Disabilities Week is October 19th to 25. Invisible Disabilities Week raises awareness about conditions like chronic pain, mental health issues, neurological disorders, and learning disabilities. Challenges that are not always visible but significantly impact daily life. Roughly 10% of people live with invisible disability, highlighting the importance of raising awareness about the barriers they face in the workplace and in society. Diwali was October the 20th, and it is a festival of lights, celebrates the triumph of light over darkness observed in family gatherings and the lighting of oil lamps. And Councillor Shantz and I had the opportunity to be at a Diwali celebration on Sunday morning at the Ken Sealing Regional Museum. It was well attended and it was very joyous. We all need more light in our lives these days. And finally, the anniversary of the Haldimand Proclamation, which was October 25th. The Haldimand Proclamation of 1784 granted land to the Six Nations along the Grand River. This anniversary reflects on Indigenous rights and land recognition. So this is a very busy month. So I now will entertain a motion to reconvene in open session. If I could have a mover, moved by Councillor Nowak, seconded by Councillor Gowing, please use e-scribe to vote. And you're voting that council reconvene in open session. Colleagues, that is carried. Are there any declarations of pecuniary interest under the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act? Councillor Harris.
Yes, Chairman, I submitted to the clerk a form declaring an indirect pecuniary interest, conflict of interest, item 1124, item 3, report EESWMS 25-005, due to the nature of an employment contract. Thank you.
Thank you. That's duly noted, and we will take that vote separately when we get to it, Councillor Harris. We're going to start tonight off with a great occasion. It's the 2024 Water Efficiency Excellence Award. The region of Waterloo is proud to recognize the Carlsberg Canada, formerly known as Waterloo Brewing, as this year's Water Efficiency Excellence Award recipient. This annual recognition is given to a business, institution, or organization that takes the initiative to research water savings programs and makes an investment to implement a solution that achieves significant water savings. This award was created to recognize community leaders and promote water-saving examples to other like-minded businesses and organizations in the hopes that many of them will investigate in water-saving solutions of their own. In 2023, Carlsberg, Canada was the fourth highest water user in the region of Waterloo. That same year, Carlsberg moved with Quality Environmental to better understand the water usage at their plant on Bingaman Center Drive by installing 6 sub-meters to better monitor their water usage and find more efficiencies and direct leaks in the plant processes. The real-time data provided by the sub-meters allowed the team at Carlsberg to reduce their water use by 100,000 cubic meters, the equivalent water use of over 1,800 people or 450 homes in a year. The project qualified for the $10,000 in funding through the region's Water Efficiency Technology Program to help with the $32,000 total cost of the work. The region relies on water conservation efforts from companies like Carlsberg Canada to invest in the future and that of our community by seeking efficient use of our precious but limited drinking water sources. On behalf of Waterloo Region, it is my honor to present Hannah Fieder. Sorry, Hannah, I am totally butchering your name. Fiender, Head of Business Development and Engineering, Ashwan Comastor, Health, Safety, and Environment Manager at Carlsberg, Canada, with this year's Water Efficiency Excellent Award. I'd like to ask Hannah and Ashwin to join me for a photo at this time. Again, congratulations. That is very impressive. Colleagues, we have no petitions. Delegations, we will now proceed to the delegations as listed on the agenda. And I would like to remind all delegations of some guidelines for participation. If you're attending in person, please proceed to the podium when you are called upon to speak. You will have 5 minutes to speak if you registered before the deadline and 3 minutes if you registered afterwards. Additionally, some general reminders: if you conduct yourself in the following manners, it will result in an immediate removal from the meeting. Interrupting councillors, staff, or other delegations. Derogatory statements about councillors, staff, or others. Turning your camera on at inappropriate times. Hate speech or defamatory comments. One last reminder for delegations. Please do not take offense if following your presentation there are no questions from council. This is council's time to really listen and reflect upon the opinions, ideas that are shared with us from the community members. And a quick reminder to members in the audience, you're asked to maintain order, and this means that you may not address the council without permission of the chair, interrupt anyone, disrupt the meeting with unreasonable noise or vocal expressions such as applause, cheering, or booing, and displaying signs or posters. Our first delegation is Kelly Smith, Friends of Waterloo Region Museums. Kelly, welcome. You have the floor and you have 5 minutes.
Okay, thank you. As mentioned, I'm Kelly Smith. I'm president of the Friends of Waterloo Region Museums. We have 15 volunteer board members, and I'm very pleased to be representing them tonight before Regional Council. The Friends of Waterloo Region Museums is a charitable foundation that raises funds in support of the Ken Sealing Waterloo Region Museum, Dune Heritage Village, Schneider House, and McDougall Cottage. Our group's history began in 1956 when Dune Pioneer Village was first built at the Huron Road and Homer Watson Boulevard site. We've been involved for 69 years and have enjoyed a long partnership with the region, who've owned and operated the site since 1983. Our mission is to enhance programming and augment the region's budget so that history truly comes to life at our museums. In 2023, we expanded our mandate to include Schneider House and McDougall Cottage, bringing all 4 regional of Waterloo museums into our fundraising activities. Since 1998, including the donations announced today, the Friends have contributed $500,000. These funds have supported capital enhancements, costuming for staff and volunteers, world-class exhibits and speakers, and the creation of innovative on-site and virtual programming. This year, we donated $3,000 for Adirondack chairs at Schneider House. I've got some photos that I wanted to show you. Educational toys for Ken Sealing Museum. That's the chairs there. Outdoors, and then next one is just an example of some of the toys for our smallest visitors to play with. Last year we committed $100,000 over 3 years for a new play space for our young visitors at Dune Heritage Village, and we're pleased to report that we're about to break ground on the first phase, partnering with local company Earthscape to create a train vignette beside the train station and wood animal figures throughout the village. And I've got some photos of showing what's planned. So this is the rendering of our little it's like a train crash beside the train. Although the kids can't climb on the big steam engine, they can climb on this one. So hopefully they'll have lots of years to enjoy it. You can keep going there. Thank you. That's just an example of what we're going to build. And another one. And that's another piece of that train set. That's it. So we've launched a fundraising campaign to support this project. We've offered naming and sponsorship opportunities to local residents and businesses, and we're pursuing grant funding as well. Tickets are on sale now for our popular holiday fundraisers, Selfies with Santa on November 22nd and Starry Night on December 19th and 20th. We're fortunate that we have Santa himself and one of his elves volunteering on our board, which really helps our Christmas events. And the Waterloo Region Museums are essential in telling the stories of our community to lifelong residents, newcomers, and those we hope to attract to live and work here in Waterloo Region. As volunteers who care deeply about preserving local history, we thank the region for its continued support and stewardship. We invite everyone to learn more about us on the Friends webpage and at regionofwaterloomuseums.ca and on YouTube or through our social media. And of course, we always encourage people to visit the museums in person. So thank you very much.
So Kelly, I don't see any questions, but I would just like to reflect what a huge support you are to our museums. Our museums, I think, are forward-looking, and I love the innovative marketing. I actually went with some friends last Saturday night to Schneider House to the chilling event. You actually get to go to the attic, and you hear all about the ghost stories that are associated with that house. And I would just really encourage people around this horseshoe and anybody watching online to really investigate the really innovative programming. And again, thank you very much for all the support you provide from the community.
We love when council comes to and encourages us. It's really helpful to see you out there. So we greatly appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before we continue with delegations, I want to provide some context regarding the automated speed enforcement process. The automated speed enforcement process, including screening review and hearing review of penalty orders, is a legal process set out by the provincial regulation under the Highway Traffic Act. Regional Council does not have any role or authority to review, change, or cancel penalty orders. Having said that, I would now call on Francis Monteith from Kitchener. You're a registered delegation and you have 5 minutes. The floor is yours.
My name is Francis Monteith. I'm a resident of Kitchener. And a friend of mine received one of these tickets and asked me to review his ticket, which I have done. In doing so, I found numerous problems, and I have two problems I'd like to address today. I don't know who these need to go to. I have not found out how this works with your operation here at all. But I would encourage anybody that's involved in these cameras to contact me at some point so I can clear out some of these problems. Okay, let's start off. Everybody here should have my page, my first page. And my first problem is the issue of the signature on the front page of the tickets. Now, is that allowed to be discussed?
Sorry, Francis, your material is not available right now. What is it you want to discuss?
I wanted to discuss about the ticket itself that was issued.
We're happy to hear in a general matter what your issues are, your concerns. We do not have the authority or the power to deal with an individual ticket. So if you want to talk about the context around the program or questions you would like answered, that's fine. But we can't deal with the actual ticket.
Okay.
We don't have the authority.
Yes. The word signature appears on the second line down on my page, which I highlighted where the signature portion of that ticket is. It's about halfway down on the left side of the page if you had one. Not having one doesn't matter. It's what it does. The signature on the ticket my friend has is a 3-letter thing. It looks like D3X. I've researched the combination of D3X, and I cannot find any references to that as his signature. 3 letters can be a signature, and there is one name that could be that name, and that would be DEX. That would be a valid name with 3 letters. I can't say if that is this, but to me, and my analysis, this does not be a valid signature. I have done digital signatures, a lot of them, and I've done them for the government. And this does not qualify in terms of that. I also have a military past, and I worked with explosives, and I was a signing officer on explosives for the Canadian Armed Forces, and I do know what the requirements of a signature in that mode is on aircraft, and initials. It is required to have a readable name. If it's not readable, it has to be printed clearly so it can be determined every letter in it. That is not done here. It should be. We should always know who that signature is. Now, that is a bit of my one concern. There are no periods between it, meaning this is not initials. And the determination of that, I've been unable to find out if it's valid or not. I would like that. I'd like what is called certification of that signature. That is supposed to be regional responsibility, those signatures and the people who sign for it. That should not be a big problem. You should be able to have that issued to me. I appreciate that. Okay, my second problem, use of speed signs without KM/H. This is something I've been before this council previously, almost 10 years ago, because I have noticed a situation that is developing in Southern Ontario of not having the KM/H on the speed signs.
Francis, you have about 15 seconds left.
Okay. Well, this is a previous issue that I've had. It has not been taken care of, and it continues, and this is a problem. With that, if anybody could get me answers on these, I'd appreciate it. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming in, Francis. I see no questions. Colleagues, the next delegation is Taylor Bulstrode and Amy Sider, Kinbridge Community Association. Welcome. You have 5 minutes and the floor is yours.
Hello. Yeah, you can hear me? Hi, everyone. My name is Taylor Bulstrode. I'm one of the co-executive directors at Kinbridge Community Association. This is Amy Sider, our social impact manager, and we're excited to tell you a little bit about Youth Force today.
People are always at the heart of our programs. Slide 2. Just so you can see Martha. Wonderful. She's lived in the Waterloo Region housing community for years after arriving as a newcomer. Martha lives in a single-parent home with 7 siblings. As the oldest, she's always felt a strong responsibility to help support her family, both physically and financially. A traditional job wouldn't have given her the flexibility to give her siblings the care and resources that they need, like taking them to daycare, and would help her overcome barriers like transportation, uniforms, and PPE costs. Youth Force made that possible. Fartash, on slide 3, also grew up in Waterloo Region housing. She faced rejection after rejection when applying for part-time and full-time jobs. She was a strong student, but couldn't seem to translate her academic success into real-world opportunities. When she joined Youth Force, everything changed. The program helped her build her resume, grow her confidence, and make community connections that opened doors. This summer, she returned as a supervisor, giving back to the same program that helped her find her voice and confidence. Fartash's story reminds us that when young people are given opportunity and support, they don't just succeed, they come back to lead. Slide 4, I could share hundreds of stories of personal challenges and systemic barriers that many of our staff have overcome through this program. Many of these youth are considered furthest from employment. That's why we prioritize equity-deserving youth. Through our partnership with Waterloo Region Housing, Youth Force gives youth meaningful work experience, training, certifications, and wraparound support they need to cover essentials like transportation, uniforms, and extra support when life gets hard. This looks like a backpack, clothing for interviews, a breakfast bar or a protein bar if they've come to work on an empty stomach. Our teams improve housing quality through unit inspections, build tenant pride through beautification projects, and form meaningful connections with residents, creating opportunities for connection, community, and belonging. For the sake of time, I'll let you read some of the stats there on slide 5. Behind every number is a young person, a family, and a neighborhood transformed. Slide 6, Youth Force doesn't start and end with employment. It's that first drop of water that builds momentum. When one young person finds purpose and stability, it ripples outward. The first ripple touches their family. That looks like financial stability, confidence, and hope. The next ripple reaches their neighbors, improving housing quality, community connection, and pride. Then it expands even further, breaking systemic cycles of instability and replacing them with opportunity, dignity, and belonging. Youth Force is proof that investing in upstream solutions in people, potential, and in community creates waves that change and strengthen families for generations to come.
I can go to the next slide. Youth Force is your upstream approach. It's a proactive investment that sets youth up for a brighter future. It directly supports Region's goals around housing stability, belonging, and community well-being. And outlines in the Housing Master Plan, the vision is for vibrant, people-centered, affordable housing communities where residents can thrive. Youth Force brings this vision to life by providing vulnerable youth with paid employment training and mentorship while maintaining improvements to the very space where they live. Through this model, we're not just keeping housing complexes looking their best, we're building pride, strengthening connections, and helping young people become active contributors to their community. I can go to the next slide. 5 minutes is not enough. So our next slide, our financial support.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Okay. The financial support we receive from Waterloo Regional Housing, we've received since 2016, and they are our backbone funder. Today, my ask is not for more, it's for continued support, to continue to work with Waterloo Regional Housing. I'll go to the next slide. I'm just going to talk instead of read my slides. We are going into our 10th year anniversary in 2026, which is amazing. Waterloo Regional Housing has supported us since 2016. We've been working in partnerships with them. Their staff has come alongside us to make this happen. We employ 25 to 30 youth per summer, and it's not just a summer program. We keep those youth involved and trained and build an alumni support system that keep people connected. Next slide. Thank you. Your contribution is what makes Youth Force happen. We're able to access federal funding. We're able to access other supports through community, Waterloo Region, different spaces. So because of you folks, we're able to continue this project, and we hope you continue to work with us. That is our ask. And today, my one takeaway for you is I hope you think of Martha. She's now working full-time in Cambridge, helping her mom raise those 7 kids. For Tosh is at McMaster doing an engineering degree. She's in her 2nd year, and her whole family in 2022 moved out of Waterloo Regional Housing. So this program really is an upstream approach, and it needs you folks to protect it. So I hope you're behind us, and we're excited to move forward.
I think you've bowled everybody over. I don't see any questions. It's just slow electronics. Councillor Wolf.
Through you, Madam Chair. Thank you very much for your presentation. I've contacted with Kinbridge and just heard so many good things about this program. So your ask is for continued support of...
To protect us in your 2026 budget. So right now our contract with Waterloo Regional Housing just ended in September. It was a 3-year contract. We're moving into hopefully negotiations for that next 3 years. I know we're in the budget right now. I know you folks have hard decisions to make over the next couple of months, and we're here to let you know what Youth Force does and why it should be protected and why it should be a priority within your budget and within your conversations.
And so is that 100,000?
Yeah.
And that's just to maintain what you have as opposed to expanding the program?
Yes. Yeah.
Which would also be nice.
It would be. I mean, more money, of course.
I know that's not possible. Most probably not possible.
And that's okay. We have leveraged those funds. Astley Foundation has provided us with funding. We apply to Canada Summer Jobs every year as well and have been successful there. And that's what really keeps the program running. This year it was about $289,000 to run the program completely. But this funding here is what allows us to leverage and get those other dollars.
Okay. So, thank you and good luck.
Thank you.
Councillor Leggett. There's more questions.
Come back.
Thank you. It wasn't so much a question, it was just a comment. I've been to the graduation of this. I've met a lot of the kids that were part of this last year. I've got to say, one of the discussions that one of the females had made was how she never felt she belonged. And it wasn't until she went through this program and met some of the people that were her neighbors that she finally felt she was home as an immigrant. She was finally home. And I think she's one who had been assisting an elderly woman and who never had visitors in her townhouse, and arranged for a birthday cake to come to her. I've got that story right. Yeah, okay, my memory's still good. But it was just overwhelming, the stories from those kids about how much they had grown, where they come from nothing, no jobs, poverty, and that they finally had a leg up. And I want to thank you for all the work that you're doing to make those kids come out of that mental health situation into a future that shows them that they have a purpose, a sense of purpose. So thank you so much for the work that you do.
Councillor Foxton.
Thank you. And I also have visited the site and aware of the program, and it's really uplifting. It really, really is to see what they're doing in this place and to make, that connection with an organization that allows you to feel like you've made it. You've come to this land and you're really a somebody and you become a part of it. It's a really worthwhile thing, and I would say to anyone, they have monthly donations, should anybody wish to do that. I'm a monthly donor, and I will keep that up, and well done. Well done, ladies.
Thank you so much.
So I guess you weren't expecting a PSA, but you got one anyway. Thank you very much.
Kinbridge.ca.
Thank you for all the great work you do, and it's wonderful to see I think it's the alumni and the fact that they come back and they're so self-confident and they speak so well. And like Councillor Leggett, I remember the story of the birthday cake too. It was a very poignant moment. So thank you very much for sharing all this good news with us.
Yep, appreciate it. We'll see you at graduation.
Colleagues, we now, I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the previous meetings listed under 8.1 to 8.9. If I could have a mover. Moved by Councillor Hunick, seconded by Councillor Schatz. Please use your e-scribe to vote, and it's 8.1 through to 8.9. Colleagues, that is carried. We received a communications information package electronically on October the 15th, and it has been distributed. Are there any questions? Seeing none, a motion to go into committee of the whole. If I could have a mover and a seconder. Moved by Councillor Foxton, seconded by Councillor Wolf. Please use your e-scribe to vote that the committee of the whole, council go into committee of the whole to consider reports. Colleagues, that is carried. The first report, 11.1, is a finance report. Emergency work, Greenbrook Water Treatment Plant, GAC number 2 repair. And I will call on Wayne Steffler, Commissioner of Corporate Services, Chief Financial Office, to introduce the report.
Hi, through the chair. So essentially this, following our procurement bylaw, some emergency work occurred over the summer at the Greenwood wastewater treatment plant. So according to policy, we bring this forward as awareness that this work had come through. And that's essentially the rationale.
Thank you again. This is for information. Are there any questions? There's no action required by council. The next committee report is 11.2, and it's Administration and Finance Committee Summary from October the 7th, 2025. We are voting to approve the summary listed on the agenda, and it is a couple pages. So if I could have a mover and a seconder. Moved by Councillor Gowing, seconded by Councillor Rodriguez. Please use your e-scribe to vote. Thank you, colleagues. That is carried. The next report, we're going to deal with a Sustainable Infrastructure and Development Committee summary from October the 7th, 2025. There are four sections to, motions to this, and we will, I'd like them moved and seconded together, but we'll take number 4 separately because that's the one that Councillor Harris has a conflict on. So if I could have a mover and a seconder for this report. Moved by Councillor Craig, seconded by Councillor Nowak. So we will be voting on 1, 2, and 3. If you can cast your ballot. Colleagues, that is carried. We'll now vote. It's been moved and seconded on item number 4. Colleagues, that is carried. The next agenda item is 11.3 Board of Health update. But before I call on Dr. Wong for this month's Board of Health update, it gives me great pleasure to share with you the remarkable accomplishments of Dr. Shuli Wong, whose contributions continue to shape the future of public health in Ontario. Dr. Wong was recently honored with the Alpha Distinguished Service Award in recognition of her outstanding contributions to public health in Ontario. She has held numerous influential positions, including serving as chair of the Council of Medical Officers of Health and the vice chair of the board. She is currently the chair of the board of the Association of Local Public Health Agencies in Ontario, which has played an integral part in restoring a portion of the provincial funding for local public health funding. This restoration effort contributed to reducing our regional tax levy beginning in 2024. Dr. Wong is also a member of the Ontario's Chief Medical Officer of Health's Public Health Leadership Table in Ontario Health's Clinical Council, where she lends her expertise to guide the strategic decision for Ontario's mega health agency. Dr. Wong's involvement in these key leadership roles not only reflects her strong competence, but also enhances the capabilities of our local public health unit by incorporating province-wide insights and strategies. Please help me in congratulating Dr. Wong. Well done.
Thank you so much, Chair Redmond and all of Council. I deeply appreciate that. So good evening, members of Council. Thank you for the opportunity to present a Board of Health update with brief updates about the end of the provincial measles outbreak, our annual enforcement of the Immunization of School Pupils Act, and preparations for the fall and winter respiratory season. First, with respect to the provincial measles outbreak, as of October the 6th, the province has declared the end of the provincial measles outbreak. Prior to the outbreak in Ontario, measles has historically been rare and mostly associated with travel, owing to the successful elimination of measles in Canada and high immunization coverage. However, due to an increase in measles activity globally in 2024, Ontario began to see more cases. As of October the 14th, Ontario has reported a total of 2,375 measles cases. Associated with the multi-jurisdictional outbreak occurring in 26 public health units. Region of Waterloo Public Health reported 111 cases, with the last case reported in June. This represents just under 5% of the total cases seen in the province. In addition to intensive case and contact management, public health staff also directly administered 1,722 doses of vaccine through 59 additional clinics for measles and responded to over 1,100 calls to support residents and further limit spread. Although the outbreak is declared over in Ontario, measles continues to circulate in Canada and globally, so ongoing vigilance for measles and public health follow-up will continue to occur. As part of our ongoing vigilance and health protection efforts, we will be conducting our annual enforcement of the Immunization of School Pupils Act. The Immunization of School Pupils Act requires children enrolled in publicly funded schools to be vaccinated for 9 diseases, including diphtheria, polio, tetanus, pertussis, measles, mumps, rubella, varicella, better known as chickenpox, and meningococcal disease. More information will be made available in the coming weeks about this year's enforcement and suspension dates. And finally, as we approach the fall respiratory and gastrointestinal illness season, preparations are well underway. COVID and flu vaccines will become available to the general public as of Monday, October 27th, at participating pharmacies and participating doctor and nurse practitioner offices. Appointments at public health clinics will be available for individuals who are high risk and who do not have an Ontario health card. More information is available on our website. Throughout the respiratory season and year-round, public health teams work closely with healthcare providers to mitigate risks of outbreaks in congregate living settings and long-term care facilities. During the 2024-2025 season, public health managed 201 respiratory outbreaks and 137 gastrointestinal outbreaks in institutions, congregate living settings, and childcare settings in Waterloo Region. Public health also supports long-term care and retirement homes with vaccine distribution, as well as the provision of on-site vaccination clinics for those without OHIP coverage or a family doctor. Last year, public health provided 490 doses of RSV vaccine to residents of retirement homes and distributed 878 doses for long-term care residents. Finally, a comprehensive report detailing our response and collaborative efforts with system partners in the past season and plans for the upcoming season will be part of the Community and Health Services Committee agenda in November. Thank you for providing me with the opportunity to provide this update. I would be pleased to answer any questions you may have.
Dr. Wong, I see no questions. I know you've underscored that now is when we should be getting our vaccines, so I guess do you want to do a public service announcement about where we should go to get our vaccines?
Yes, well, they'll be available in multiple locations, such as family doctors' offices, nurse practitioners' offices, and of course, more and more pharmacies. We also do hold clinics for those without OHIP cards and without family doctors. So we'll have clinics as well, and there will be lots of additional information coming out publicly as the campaign to encourage people to get their vaccines starts next week.
Thank you. Councillor Erb.
Thank you, Chair Redmond. Thanks, Dr. Wong, and to your staff for the incredible work that you do to keep our region healthy. I know during the summer or in the spring with the measles outbreak, it seemed like it was something that was going to be insurmountable, and you were able to contain that, and we thank you for that. I'm curious that if, with the COVID shots beginning with, if someone from the very beginning would have had a COVID shot and taken them as they should, how many would they get now? What would be the number?
It would depend, because if, for example, they had a COVID infection that season, then they wouldn't need a shot until the year after, or sometimes for some high-risk people, that's 6 months after. So there's not a total now, but what is recommended is that for most people is to get an annual shot with the latest version of the vaccine. Similar to the flu vaccine. and the only difference with the the only difference with the RSV vaccine is that doesn't need to be repeated. So it's annual recommendation at this point.
Well, thank you for all the work you do.
Thank you.
Councillor Craig.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair. I'm not sure if my question is appropriate now. It's a health question, or should I do it under other business? It's different from what's being talked about.
I think you could, if it's of Dr. Wong, I would suggest you can do it now.
Okay, just to, if I can and may, I'm a bit concerned across the community about the doctor shortage. Can we possibly get some sort of update as a regional council as to what is happening in our community, what efforts are being made, and how serious the shortage is? At some point.
Yeah. Thank you for the question, Councillor Craig. So public health, the region doesn't have jurisdiction over this area, but we can certainly look into information that we may be able to get from healthcare partners to provide back to council, if that may be satisfactory.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Councillor Craig, I would be happy to reach out to the Chamber of Commerce. I know that they have a vigorous physician recruitment. It may not tell you the gap, but it'll tell you the efforts that are being made, and I can we can provide that to all of council.
I just think it's important that regional council is aware across the region what's happening.
Thank you. Councillor Foxton.
I just want clarification. So we're not we could get the COVID shot yearly now?
Yes, that's the current recommendation, that you would get your shot every season, the latest shot.
So not every 6 months?
That is for most people every year. For certain people who are at higher risk, their physician may recommend that they also get a spring booster.
Okay, thank you so much.
Councillor Vanovic.
Thanks, Chair. Thanks, Chair Redmond, and thanks for your suggestion around the chamber. I'll just note that I do know that their upcoming physician and specialist recruitment event that they do annually is coming up, just because they asked for our draft letters recently. So Ian would be a great one to maybe give us an update on that.
Councillor Leggett.
Well, on that topic, since we're all jumping in, I will say that I met with president of our Chamber of Commerce, and we spoke about this problem. And we fund the chamber for our Doctors for Cambridge in our budget every year. But because we haven't been getting the doctors and the response that we need to be having, I've instructed staff to leave it in the budget as is for the coming year, but we're going to be revamping our entire the way we're doing it, because this region is losing out to other communities. They're getting the doctors and we're not. So I'm asking for us to change the direction we're going so that we have a better ask and more information behind our asks.
Thank you for that. I see no further questions. And again, Dr. Wong, congratulations on great recognition of all the work that you've done. You know, I think all of us from time to time think back of the pandemic, and I don't know how we would have gotten through it if you hadn't sort of been our center board as we marched forward into the unknown as it was. So thank you. Colleagues, the next matter under Committee of the Whole is proposed pedestrian crossover at Huron-Milton intersection, Township of Wilmot. And I know that Commissioner Spooner of Transportation Services is ready to speak to this, but I also know you've had conversations with Councillor Salonen. Councillor Salonen, do you want to talk to your motion, or should we get Commissioner Spooner and then you can talk to your motion? It's up to you.
Really doesn't matter to me. Maybe I'd go to Commissioner Spooner to make sure I get the letter change correct.
Okay. Over to you, Commissioner Spooner.
Through you, Chair, you'll appreciate Councillor Sounden's joke in a minute. We're going to put a lot of pressure on clerks tonight. So a reminder, we follow provincial guidance on pedestrian crossing warrants. The upgrade that I will recommend to you today is moving from a Type D to a Type C. This is based on really exposure for pedestrians. So more pedestrians trigger higher volumes, and that would trigger the flashing beacons, which was what Councillor Salonen was seeking. In this case, only a Type D is warranted, but there are contextual elements here. We do have a school, and there are significant grade changes in the approach. So the cost to doing this is not prohibitive. We had $6,000 planned for this addition. Adding lights, which has upgraded posts and some solar power, adds roughly $8,000 to $10,000 to the project, still achievable in the budget. We may need to phase it, so we would do the painting now and we'd do the posts in the spring. The only cautions I have for you, Council, is we have money for this upgrade, but we haven't planned flashing lights at all future crosswalks. So I would hold to the warrants in most cases unless there are other circumstances. Another unintended consequence is sometimes following the installation of this type of lights, we do receive complaints from the local community who live near. There is a flashing light that can be invasive, and so we'll monitor that as it's implemented. But if we do want to proceed, as I said, it's really easy. We simply note that the recommendation moves from a Type D to a Type C. And that would be the motion.
So, colleagues, this amendment is being moved by Councillor Salonen and brought to you by the letter C, not the letter D. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Shantz. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I would ask you to cast your ballot then. Does anyone need the motion read out, or we all know what we're voting on? It appears we know what we're voting on. Colleagues, that is carried. I now need a motion for the Committee of the Whole to rise and Council to resume. Moved by Councillor Gowing, seconded by Councillor Erb. Please use your e-scribe to vote. That Committee of the Whole rise and Council resume. That is carried, colleagues. We now need a motion to adopt the proceedings of the Committee of the Whole. If I could have a mover. Moved by Councillor Hunick, seconded by Councillor Harris. Would you like to second this? There you go. Spontaneous. If you could use your e-scribe to vote that Council adopt the proceedings of the Committee of the Whole. Colleagues, that is carried. No motions of notices of motions were provided. No unfinished business under other business. Councillor Hunick.
I recently learned that conventional transit has wheelchair securement devices on every conventional bus, and I think this is important for the community to be aware of, as I know that safety of disabled customers and non-disabled customers is of utmost priority for GRT and for Regional Council. And so I'm wondering if Commissioner Spooner could speak to what the mobility devices securement program is like and how to get assistance from operators when needed, as well as how we might make sure that the wider community is aware that these devices exist.
Commissioner Spooner, do you like to respond?
Yep, through your chair. Thanks very much, Councillor Hunick, as always, for your care for GRT customers. This is an important one. So, two parts to this one. What we do today is, at the request of a customer, the bus operator will exit their seat and provide the securement. Appreciate that's a a bit of an awkward ask. I know customers have shared with me boarding conventional buses is already a bit of a challenge. You become a focus as the ramp is deployed and the lights are flashing, and so I'll appreciate that's a bit of a challenging scenario. In terms of what we do to share with the community, let's start now. We do have a web page on the GRT site that talks about all of this, but Councillor Hunick, as I appreciate, it's one thing for me to put it on a website and it's another thing for us to communicate to customers. So the team has been looking at this one, kind of two parts to this one. Is there an opportunity for a social media campaign or something, as well as the inclusion in materials that are distributed to new customers? Also taking a look at any of the recordings or what happens as somebody enters the bus. We don't have that program today that is a notification. We may be able to link that to the deployment of the ramp. But agree that if we have customers riding on our buses who don't know that securement is an option, we need to make them aware.
Or they can ask the operator for their assistance if required.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's already stickers on the window that says priority seating for persons with disabilities. I wonder if it could just be securement device available added to said sticker. But I'll leave that with you, Commissioner Spooner.
Thank you.
Councillor Urbanovich.
Thank you very much, Chair Redmond. And I think my question's probably for Mr. Regier, and it has to do with the brownfield TIGs. Council will recall we've talked about this issue previously around the horseshoe, and it's the issue concerning that in the transfer of planning responsibilities from the region to the area municipalities, there was some question about whether the region could continue being involved in those programs because it involved both the region and area municipalities. There was a lot of dialogue that happened with the province on that. The region has been, was originally awaiting legislation, I understand, in terms of this moving forward. The city has gone ahead and has moved forward with their part because there are a number of projects that were in the pipeline and that have been waiting for these dollars and counting on them. My understanding is the region has received correspondence from the province in the last week or so, indicating that from the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, indicating that, in fact, it's their intent and belief that the region is eligible to continue with the program, that there are provisions in the Municipal Act to allow us to move forward with it. And if there are any questions, they will also be making some further amendments to legislation to make it absolutely clear for anybody who's questioning it. And so I'm just wondering, Mr. Regier, where we're at in terms of processing it, and will we be using that direction from the province to try to move this forward?
Thanks for the question, Councillor Urbanovich. Yes, we did receive a letter from the minister on this, and indicated that they are working on a solution and that there are some alternatives. The alternative, section 365.1 in the Municipal Act, that was probably the most promising. It does require an amendment to the municipal CIP governing brownfields. And it is more limited in terms of the costs that it covers than the municipal brownfield program allows. So we do understand that the province is working on a solution, and it seems as though, from our judgment, that the permanent legislative fix will probably be at least as fast, if not faster, to get to than amendment of the municipal, for example, the City of Kitchener CIP, and it would also allow for a more fulsome coverage of the costs associated with the remediation of the property. So we're evaluating the minister's letter and its potential implication and possible application here. We have talked extensively about the use of Section 365.1, and I think we'll be ready to inform council shortly about some of the options.
Okay, thank you. Well, maybe we can also have some dialogue around it, because I do know that there are several applicants who have been waiting in the queue and are quite anxious about the whole thing, obviously, because it's been going on for some time, and in these difficult times for the industry to move forward with projects, it really sort of was part of the dollars they were counting on as part of their cash flow for the projects.
Councillor James.
Thank you.
Thank you, through you, Chair. I just want to take a moment and acknowledge that right now there are people in our community who are feeling very unsafe. There has been increased threats to us LGBTQ plus community, racialized communities, and the recent closure of activities that were planned because of threats is something I'm very conscious of, and have spoken with residents today who are scared. I know that at some point we will have an anti-hate campaign, but I think it's something that we need to be very mindful of as we do this work, and recognizing that there are members of this community right now who feel very, very, very unsafe. And I hope that with the calls that have come in, there is accountability, and we look into who these people are and these individuals are who are threatening members of our community, and we all should be able to live here and do what we need and be social and be with each other and not be feared for who we are, what we believe, or our identity. So I just wanted to acknowledge that, because it is something that is weighing heavy with me right now with the current time we are in. So thanks.
Thank you, Councillor James, and it's a timely comment to make, not only because the issue has bubbled up, but also our anti-hate campaign is launching tomorrow. I don't know, Connie, do you want to talk a little bit about what's happening tomorrow, or are we scooping ourselves?
Thank you, through the chair. Stay tuned, more to come tomorrow.
Councillor Liggett.
Sorry, thank you. This is other business, correct? I'm just trying to follow the bouncing ball here.
It is other business.
Okay, so 3 items. The Ontario Big City Mayor's caucus meeting was in Thunder Bay on Thursday, Friday. One of the big items on our agenda was the automated speed cameras. A decision was made, a motion put forward, and another letter by the OBCM was sent to the Premier with regards to that. So we're hoping he takes notice of that while it's going through its readings. Another thing is just a reminder that the See Me, Hear Me Summit that is hosted by the city is on this Friday from 8 to 5. And it is a summit of leading experts for a day of storytelling, dialogue and action focused on the challenges and realities facing families affected by mental health and addictions. So the speaker series, we've got quite a lineup. It aims to build connections for families impacted by mental health and addictions, advocating for change and amplifying the voices of the families, the legal, health, and grief professionals who do experience the system's shortcomings firsthand. So we have a peer support manager at Families for Addiction Recovery. We have a professor from Toronto Metropolitan University on the same thing. We have a psychiatrist at Western University coming. We have an author and a psychotherapist of difficulty mothering challenging adult children. The Mayor of Oshawa will be speaking. We have a gentleman from PEI that works with Grand Families, Inc., the Chief and Medical Director of Mental Health Program at Cambridge Memorial. We have the executive director of the Coping Bereavement Support Groups. I could go on, but we've got a great lineup of speakers and presenters. And the last item I want to mention is we have the Handmaid's Tale exhibit at Cambridge, at City Hall and our Art Center, which is also on our City Hall campus. So we received a truckload of props from Handmaid's Tale. They're all on exhibit, and it's quite shocking to see things in real life. I'm not going to tell you what they all are, but there's also a tour of where all the locations were in Cambridge for the filming. And it's quite an exhibit. So if you have a chance, please stop in. It's going to be going for till the end of the month, I think, at least. That's it.
Thank you, Councillor Leggett. Councillor Gowing.
Thank you, Chair. I would be remiss if I didn't announce the Remembrance and Poppy campaigns through the Legion starts next Friday, October 31st. It is Halloween, but it's going to be a short campaign this year. It always starts on the last Friday in October, and it runs till November 11th. So again, it's a shorter campaign this year, and if you're looking to find a ceremony, if you Google find a Remembrance Day ceremony, the Legion website pops up. You punch in your postal code and it'll show you where exactly the closest Remembrance Day ceremony is for you. I will plug my personal Legion in Preston. We have our Remembrance Banquet on November 11th, starts at 5 p.m. Our guest speaker that evening will be the Lieutenant Governor of Ontario, Edith Dumont. So we are very excited to host her and her honor, and we're looking forward to having everybody out in Preston at our cenotaph on that day. Thank you.
Councillor Urbanovich.
Well, actually, thank you. Since we're referencing Remembrance Day, I think it would actually be worthwhile to acknowledge the Sikh Remembrance Day ceremony that'll take place on Sunday, November the 2nd. And I know, Chair Redmond, you've been there many years, but I reference it in particular because Private Buckham Singh, who's buried in Mount Hope Cemetery, and he ended up here because he contracted tuberculosis, and ended up at what was Freeport Hospital back then. But I raise it because this year is particularly special because Canada Post will be honoring him with a stamp dedicated to him. So I thought folks in the community would like to know that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I see no other business. I see no questions. So I will now entertain a motion to enact first, second, and third readings of the bylaws. If I could have a mover. Moved by Councillor Wolf, seconded by Councillor Hunick. Please use your e-scribe to vote. The bylaws are 20.1 through to 20.4. So colleagues, there is an addition. It is 20.2. It's an expropriation bylaw appointing the city clerk to repeal. Okay, so it's not that one. It's 20.3. It's to expropriate lands for improvements on Herb Street West between Needles Boulevard and Gate 1 at the Westmount Management Facility in the city of Waterloo. The regional municipality of Waterloo to be read first, second, and third time, finally passed and numbered 25-054. And that has been added in case you memorized all the previous bylaws. Colleagues, that is carried, and now, sadly, I will have to entertain a motion to adjourn. Moved by Councillor Salonen, seconded by Councillor James. Please use your e-scribe to vote. Colleagues, that is carried. Have a good evening.